Hello and welcome to the first 2022 report looking at ADA compliance, digital inclusion, across the higher education sector. This report was released in February 2022. The foreword, written by Andrew Grant, our Diversity and Inclusion Chair, summarises today's position that this report underlines. Despite considerable spend and effort, there's significant vulnerability across the sector. It's easy to demonstrate basic errors, which are leaving far too many establishments vulnerable. There's about 20 pages in the report, which I'll walk you through to give you the headlines. You can also download this report in PowerPoint format yourself to walk you through at your own leisure. So, a bit of background. The ADA, or Americans with Disabilities Act, started just over 30 years ago. It covers the accommodation of both physical and digital spaces. This includes websites, which have to make reasonable accommodation to users with disabilities. We're working with Gallagher on this report. Introducing Stacey, who is Executive Director of the Higher Education Practice at Gallagher. They have a number of resources available and are running a number of webinars, both with ourselves at AAA Track and others covering other subjects. So, the background. The ADA has been around for over 30 years now. And accommodation for websites includes things like, if you've got a picture on your website, you need to put a description on that image. This is called alt text. The description is simply how you would describe the image to somebody over the telephone. This description enables users with disabilities, such as visual disabilities, to experience the website. They often require technology which reads the detail of that image's description. We don't publish the full results in this report of every website, but anybody who wants the detail of their own website can get in touch with Rob Andrews, whose details are available in the PowerPoint. There's a quick summary of the regulations. We're not offering legal advice here, it's just a quick summary of Section 508, Section 504, and specific state regulations such as California, New York, and what's coming in Colorado. So the results, as we've sort of alluded to at the start of this report, shows that unfortunately the vast majority are not meeting the ADA to various degrees. We looked at just the homepage of the websites and 96% were discriminating. 13% of sites are what we call very high risk and have considerable failures. When we look across the board at the homepages, things like alt text and other basic tests were really putting pages at risk. In the PowerPoint, we've included some links to videos we've created so you can learn more about how to deal with these subjects. We've also provided a percentage breakdown of the position by each state. The solid green bar is where that percentage of that state's sites that were assessed were shown to be low risk at the time of audit. You can see very few were low risk, and the bars are proportional, so each bar is 100% of that state's websites. The remaining areas on the bars are from medium to high and to very high risk. So in summary, 9 out of 10 organisations are what we say immediately vulnerable to litigation. We work with a range of organisations, including pools and university establishments, and one of the key issues is contracts and contract management, and then the monitoring of those contracts. We'll be running a number of seminars with one of our legal partners, Wilson Elsa, on this topic, but there is a summary of what you should consider putting in a contract on this page. Litigation isn't a way off, or a will be here in the future. It's here and it's been happening for the last few years, and there have been some sizable settlements. In this slide, there's a link to a webpage which will give you a breakdown of the sheer scale of the claims that have gone through in the higher education sector. But it's not actually the settlements that are the problem, it's a successive demand which is a significant challenge. The legal landscape has grown significantly in the last 4 years. It's up nearly 60%. But it's actually the demand which are likely going to impact you more. In 2020 alone, $6.6 billion was estimated the cost of demands. So you receive a demand, and the sort of minimum you're going to be spending is around $8,000, but the average typically about $13,000. There is the immediate reaction in having to deal with the sorting out of the website and getting it remediated, which starts at about $4,000, but the average is over $70,000. As we've mentioned, one of the challenges is contracts. The majority of people are now looking at the technicalities, the guidelines, and no one meets the technical standards. And actually, the law is about reasonable accommodation. It's about understanding the process and understanding what training you're doing, making sure your suppliers are accountable, having an audit trail of what you've been doing, and this really sort of leads to what would be called a traditional risk management approach. So start with assessing where you are, then ensure you have protection in place, and then when you've taken control of the situation, ensure that you're mitigating your position. In producing this report, we've worked with some great organisations and individuals, which we're very grateful for. Gallagher, who've been involved with the input of the report and distribution, Crown Peak, who are specialists in integrating CMS governance management, Jack Mullaney from MicroAssist, who is well known in the industry and also produces a weekly newsletter on accessibility in the news, which is worth signing up to, and then one of our legal partners, Wilson Elsa, who has considerable experience in the market. We're running a number of webinars alongside Gallagher and Wilson Elsa, the details of which are available on their websites. As we draw to a close, one of the key things to do is to really understand your own risk. Don't think, oh, we've done this, or somebody said it's okay, or I've got this report. Executives and senior management are responsible for this and have to take it on board that they need to understand where they are. So what you can do, which is free and takes less than a minute, is go to our website, www.AAAtrack.com. Key in any website and then in a minute it'll audit that website and you'll be presented with the results, giving you your risk position in an understandable way. No technical knowledge is required. It includes a colour-coded system. Green is good, red is bad. So you'll see where the site is, and then you'll also see a number. And the key to the number is also removing the technicalities and giving you a way to benchmark your position. The lower the number, the lower the risk. You can come and use this site every month if you wish. On an ongoing basis, you should see that risk score reduced. This is the first time that anybody has looked at how you remove the technicalities and make reporting immediately understandable by those that need to make the decisions. There's a schedule showing when the next report will be coming. The next one is in April, and we've got a number of webinars running this month.